Hello everyone, I hope all of you are fine. Once again, one more chapter. Today we have to start chapter 8, right? Chapter 8, cell, the unit of life. Till now, what syllabus we have covered? I hope all of you are understanding. If any problem, again I am keep on telling that one, you can ask queries in doubt class, okay? If you have got any problem. So then we have to, as you know, the syllabus already 30% syllabus deleted by CBSE. So then we have come to chapter 8. So now we have to start cell. All of you know about cell. In class, in class 9th already you have done this cell. Cell that you know that functional, structural, fundamental unit of life. Everybody knows that. You see that when we have started, we have done in classification, we have done levels of organization. Basis of the classification, then we have seen there levels of organization. What does it mean? Levels of organization, here that will be that cell first. The first level is there, cellular level. First level we have done cellular level. Then second we have done tissue level. Third we have done cellular, tissue, then organ, then system, and then body. We have done that one, right? All of you know that in class 9th also you have done means cellular, tissue, organ, system and body. Here we see that in cellular structure, when the cellular number of cells combined, then they form tissue. Number of tissues combined, then they form organ, and number of organ, then they form system, and then after that body. So you see that when we talk about tissue, so tissue made up of cell. When we talk about organ, organ made up of tissue, tissue made up of cell. Means all these organization, all these complex structures are made up of cells, right? So we can say cell is the structural unit of life. Cell is called structural unit of life. Unit of life. As you see, when we talk about unicellular organism, amoeba, everybody knows amoeba. Amoeba unicellular organism, one cell, but they perform all functions. If you see that if anything less than this cell, means this cellular structure we have, before less than from this structure, we cannot imagine anything. If there is anything is there, they cannot perform functions. So it means that is the basic, basic, fundamental, basic unit, structural unit of life, or we can say fundamental unit of life, because beyond this or below this we cannot imagine life. Means if any cell, amoeba, when we talk about amoeba unicellular organism, and if that say amoeba, if anything less than this cell, so then life is not there. So now then we see that structural basic unit of life. Now when we say, then it is also known as functional. It is also known as functional unit of life. The name cell is known as structural unit, fundamental, or it is also known as functional unit of life. Why it is so good, unit of life, functional? Because that cell, whether it will be in a multicellular organism or unicellular organism, that cell perform all function. They are capable to perform all those functions. So that's what is called functional. As amoeba, again we talk about amoeba. Amoeba, one cell structure, one unicellular organism, but they perform all those functions which are performed, we are performing, or human being also perform. Means there is a digestion is there, excretion is there, assimilation, absorption is there. Means all those life processes occur, which those processes occur in multicellular organism. So that's why it is called, cell is also known as functional unit of life. On the basis of this one cell, that is called unicellular organism. On the basis of when the organism made up of number of cells, then it is called multicellular organism. So we have seen number of examples are there. So here in this chapter we will talk about cell. Means what are the structures of cell, who discovered it, how discovered it. Now then we will see here. So first we will come to this. There were two scientists were there. Those two scientists, one is a botanist. Botanist who studies about plants, right? That is a German botanist. The name of that scientist, German botanist, that is Malthus Matthias Sheldon. Right, he was a botanist. Botanist means he continued studies about only plants. Now then, one more scientist was there. That is German British. That is a zoologist. That is Theodor Schwann. In class 9th, I think you have done that one. Now that is zoologist. Zoologists, those were involved in the studies of animals. So that one study there he was doing about he was studying about plants. He was studying about animals. So what they found? First, the Sheldon had found that all plants are having cell wall. Means all those are made up of an outer covering, that is cell wall. Means all those organisms. After that zoologist, because he was involving in the plants study, now he was involving in the animal study. So he had told that all those animals are having cell membrane. Means they had told. So then they collectively, then what points or what observations they had done about plants and animals, that is called cell theory. Means these two scientists had given a formulated cell theory. Later on, that cell theory that he had given 2 points. These both had given 2 points. The 2 points of cell theory. One he had called all living organisms are made up of cell. All living organisms made up of cells. Second point they had given, all those cells, these cells are performing all functions. Means cell performs all functions. What they had told, these two scientists had told. But question arises after that when both had given cell theory. Now then their 2 points are there. The question arises, how it will be, how the cell increase their number. How then the cell will becoming 1, the 2 and then 4 and then 8. What are the methods are there? So then one more scientist was there, that Warsha. That is, the name is Warsha. Means there are in cell theory 3 scientists or biologists were involved. He had given the last point and he solved the problem. What question arising by people of the time? He had told cell increasing in number. He had told cell increases in number by division of pre-existing, a very important point he had given, pre-existing cell. Cell increases in number by division of pre-existing cell. Means that is, first of all cell should be there, then that cell will divide and then it will become 2. So that is the third point given by the Warsha. So then there are 3 scientists were involved in that cell theory. So then in your book, I think that these 2 points are clubbed together and that's second. So then in your book, it is written 2. It doesn't matter, but meaning is same. All living organisms made up of, it is given in your book also. Now all living organisms made up of cells. Cell performs all functions, or you can say life processes. And third point they had given, cell increases in number by division of pre-existing cell, or it is given in 2 points. In your book you can mark also, in your book also they had clubbed, all living organisms are composed of cells and products of cells. Means they had told all these cells are made up of cells and product of cells. Means after function, products means all those organisms, whatever the in present, whatever organelles are present, whatever the compounds or chemicals are present, that will be the product of cells. So now that is means these 2 points we can club. Otherwise all living organisms made up of cell performs all functions, cell increases in number by division of pre-existing cells. And it is also called, in your book you can make underline because questions will be there from that portion. It is pre-existing, meaning of this cell increases in number by division of pre-existing cell. It is also known as omnis cellular e cellular. It means in another language that will be omnis cellular. It is given in a book, omnis cellular e cellular, means that will be, means cellular or cellular, means new cell is formed from pre-existing cell. So that question will be there, what does it mean, omnicellular or cellular? So then you should remember that the meaning is the cell increases in number of by division of pre-existing cell. Or this is about cell theory, who had given by Sheldon Swan. And third point and the last point that is given by Varsha. So now then we'll talk about the cell's shape and size. Now in there, is that clear, beta? Is that clear? All these points you know, then in class 9th also you have done. Again, in that 9th class again, that these 3 points are common points are given in your book. You can do that. But these are, you have to, it's very important question from that, what is cell theory? Who had given cell theory? So now then first of all you see cell, first of all cell, meaning of the cell. This is about the cell, how that will be, what are the fundamental, basic. Now then you know meaning of the cell. First of all, that cell is shown by, who had seen that one? Robert Hooke. Have you know that in class 9th also then Robert Hooke. He had seen in microscope, he had seen the cork cells. Cork cells just made up of soft wood. Now that cork cell he had not seen in that microscope. Then what is that? They had found some chamber-like structure. As you know, onion cell is there. Now they had found like this structure. So then he had seen that all these other in a chamber. That is also chamber compartment also you can. Means you know this cell meaning is literary meaning. That cell means chamber, empty room, compartment, or you know group of person. Cell, police cell. You know, you are number of times you have listened that a police cell go investigating that one. Now that cell is a group of people. Those are doing in the same work. So now then that is because of that. A cell, you know, mobile phone is also known as cell. So now different names are given. So then when Robert Hooke had seen that these chambers are there, then chambers, the compartment is there, so he had given the name, means he coined the term cell. Means that Robert Hooke coined the, or given this name cell. Because of he had seen chambers, empty chambers are there, and those empty chambers are just like a cell. As you know in prison, where the prisoners are there, in that chamber is also called cell. So now then, because of that, cell is given. Later on, then when the compound microscope or more, you know, electronic microscope came, then more studies are there. So then further the more study. Then the further we have seen that who discovered microscope, nucleus, who discovered that other cell organelles which are present in the cell. So we will study about that, all those. So first we will see the who coined this. Now cell vary in shape and size. Means all these are different shapes. As you know, nerve cell, right? In the previous class we have taken nervous tissue. Now nervous tissue, a different type shape. Some RBC very small, that is the smallest in human body. In human body, smallest cell, that is a RBC or red blood cell. And the largest, longest cell, that is nerve cell in human body. I am talking about human body. Now then RBC, different shape, small. Then WBC, when we talk, some amoeba-like structure, a small structure but some amoeba-like structure. When we talk, you know that in a smooth muscle, in previous sessions we have done, that is smooth muscle, just like a, this is the, so different type of, you know, in a plant cell where we talk about plants, in plants tracheids and vessels are there of xylem portion, that will be tracheids and vessels. The different shapes are there inside. These are the, means different shapes and sizes, means that is not fixed, the number and size. So then they are varying, these, all these are varying in shape and size. Means some are very large, some are very small. In human body, longest cell, nerve cell, and smallest cell, RBC. Now then, when we talk about these shape and size, so we see that first of all in a large elephant, and we can compare elephant and rat. their size is far means that is a two difference in their sizes. Elephant is very large, rat is very small. So what do you think? If then that size is large of the body, any animal's body, any organism body, so cells are also that large. The cells also increasing then? No. Means it is not, doesn't mean that in rat very small organism in comparison to elephant. So we cannot say that in rat very small sizes cells are there, and in elephant then the different size and more large size of cells are there. RBC is the same size, these are WBC are same size, nerve cells are same, means their cell sizes are same. The difference in numbers, because when we are growing, as you know, we are growing in width, in length, because of division, because of cell increase in number. And when cell increase in number, then our sizes are changed. It doesn't mean that our cell is changed. Our cell is not going to change. Only numbers are changed. So then cells are having different shapes and size. So now then we see here, these are the different sizes. And in your book also, let me see that one. How many? Yes, see. Then diagram they have given red blood cells. I told also. Then white blood cells also. Nerve cells also, tracheids also, then mesodermal cell in plant, in leaves, mesodermal cells are found. So the mesodermal cells also different size, you can see in your book also, and you know, we have done columnar epithelium also, then that is also the different, it is also in your book. So that different cell. Now then we talk about these cell that will be having inside the cell what content is there, right? What are there inside the cell? Suppose here, what things are there? So those parts, those tiny parts are present inside cell, that is called cell organelles. What is it called? Cell organelles. Tiny parts of cell present in cell. Means inside that cell, what parts are there, what components are there, that is called cell organelles. Or different cell organelles are doing the different job inside a cell. So now then the main, you know, that is the main part of a cell is nucleus. That is nucleus is the main part. We will see, and one by one we will see, but I am telling only introduction, that is introduction I am giving only. Nucleus is, you know, head of the cell, or is also known as principle of the cell, because it control and regulation of all those activities performed by a cell. So now that's why it is called principle of cell or head of the cell. Now then you see that in plant cell, earlier we have done in classification, in plant cell and animal cell difference is there, cell wall. In plant cell wall is there, in animal cell no cell wall is there, cell membrane in both cases are there. So then it means different organelles are there in plant cell, in animal cell, 2-3 differences are there. As in case of plant cell, they have chloroplast or plastids, but when we talk about animal cell, no plastids are there. So the few differences are there in between plants and animal cell, and rest of the all same organelles are there, their functions are same. So now first we will talk about that difference are types of cell. There are 2 types of cell. Those 2 types of cell, what are those? In class 11th we have to do more. In class 9th, I think in 8th also, some introduction is given in 8th also, and in 9th class also. So now here we will study about those type of cell in detail, right, in more explanatory form. So now first there are 2 types of cell. One is called prokaryotic. Have you heard, all of you? For prokaryotic. Now then all of you have heard this one. And second one is called eukaryotic. Eukaryotic. What does it mean? Prokaryotic cell and eukaryotic cell. Pro means primitive, purani, ancient, and eukaryotic, eu means advanced, means more developed. So now here first we'll come to the prokaryotic. The main difference on the basis of what is the main base in that. In class 9th also you have done the main basis, all of you know about that. Here the main base of that in nucleus, prokaryotic cell and eukaryotic cell on the basis of the nuclear membrane. On the basis of the nuclear membrane, where we divided these cells into two parts, prokaryotic and eukaryotic cell. Prokaryotic and eukaryotic cell. So now then, that will be, what is the difference? Main difference is there. How we have divided into two category means here in prokaryotic cell, as I told in that just now I told that is suppose cell, this is nucleus, right, and that nucleus and outer plant cell, if we talk about plant cell, so then it will be outer covering is also there, that is cell wall. But when we are taking only simple, cell membrane is there, inside nucleus is there. Nucleus will be inside the nucleus, you know, in nucleus the nuclear material is present, or it is also called genetic material. In this nucleus, what is there? Genetic material in the form of DNA, right? DNA and RNA. RNA also, that will be a nucleic acid. So these are, nucleus is acidic in nature. Nucleus, chemical composition of nucleus is acidic. Acidic means that is they are having DNA, RNA. DNA full form, you know DNA? DNA deoxyribonucleic acid. Okay? You know that, I think. Now the RNA it is known as ribonucleic acid. So all genetic information, all genetic, in class 12th you will go, when class 12th you see the genetics is there. We have to really miss, that is the vast syllabus of genetics in class 12th. So we will see the whole genetic is in DNA. That is the main part, a functional unit of the genetic is DNA. In DNA genes are there, and genes, other DNA is present in chromosome, chromosome present in nucleus. So now then, that all together means you can say chromosome, in chromosome DNA is there, in DNA genes are there, it means that is combined. So then all together that is called genetic material. What is it called? Genetic material. Okay, genetic material. Now then, see means that one in nucleus, that genetic material will be surrounded by, or that is means that will be, means this nucleus is there, it will be covered by, the nuclear membrane. That is nuclear membrane. We will do it separately also. Now the nuclear membrane. Now why I am telling this one? Here why? Because we have to study about separately. But now why I am telling? Because to tell the difference between prokaryotic and eukaryotic. In prokaryotic, primitive cell is there. Primitive cell, on the basis of this nuclear membrane. Means in some cells nuclear membrane is found. Means all genetic material, or you can say nuclear material surrounded by membrane. That membrane is called nuclear membrane. But in some cells nuclear membrane is absent. Right? In some cells nuclear membrane is absent, and whatever the material is there, chromosome, DNA, genetic material, that will be scattered in cytoplasm. The main difference is that in prokaryotic cell nuclear membrane absent. While in case of, that's why we are calling it advanced, more developed. Now why we are calling it? Because here nuclear membrane present. It means all those nuclear material, whatever the genetic material is in nucleus, it will be enclosed in envelope. Envelope means all these nuclear material will be covered by membrane. That is called nuclear membrane. And because of that, nuclear membrane is present. Where the nuclear membrane is present, all those cells are in under this eukaryotic cell. All those cells will be in eukaryotic cell, where all nuclear material, or you can say genetic material, enveloped by nuclear membrane. But in case of prokaryotic, where where the nuclear membrane is absent. If no boundary is there, so what will be? Everyone will moving here and there. If suppose you are there, no walls are there in classroom, what will you do? You are scattered. So now the same, all those genetic material that will be scattered in the cytoplasm or in the cell. So now that is the main difference between prokaryotic and eukaryotic. So now then we will see again in next session we will do prokaryotic cell. But now this time what I told here, cell theory. Cell means first of all what is cell, why it is called functional unit, structure unit, and why it is fundamental unit. Then who had given cell theory, scientist name, and what they observed, because in that cell theory the three scientists were biologists were involved. One was botanist, other one geologist, and next last one Warsha, that were also biologist. So now then they have concluded there all the organisms are made up of cell, all those material is there, that is a cell product, and cell performs all body functions. Third, Warsha had given cell increases their number by division of pre-existing cell. That is also called omnis cellula or cellula. So now then this is about cell theory we have read. Then we have told about the size, shape and size, that is not same, different sizes and shapes are there. Now then as I give an example, nerve cell, RBC, WBC, tracheids are there, columnar cell, epithelial cells also, and now we have the smooth muscle cell also. All they have got the unique feature or unique shape, but when it doesn't matter, it will affect the size of the organism. I had given the example of elephant and rat, both sizes are different. So now, but their cells are increasing in number, but they are not changing the size in the shape and size of the particular cell. So now then we have told about the types of, there are mainly two types of cell, prokaryotic cell and eukaryotic cell. The difference on that, on the basis of what they have done, that is because of the nuclear membrane. Here nuclear membrane is absent, all genetic material is scattered, and that that where that genetic material will be collected in that cytoplasm, that is where is that region is called nucleoid, right? But here the no nucleoid is there, because no nucleoid. Nucleoid is that region where the genetic material collected in the prokaryotic cell. So now then that will be on the basis of nuclear membrane. We have divided the all cells into two categories, prokaryotic and eukaryotic. Prokaryotic, that will be primitive cell, and eukaryotic, that will be true cells, or you can say true cells, advanced cell, more modified, more developed cells. So now this one only general instruction about the general points or characteristics of about cell theory. And now the next we will start in next session, we will start prokaryotic cell. So then only revise, again I am telling keep on revising. You will revise in your book, because I am taking everything from your book. All those points which I have given here in this session, all you can find in your book also. But if you read, then you can find, otherwise you can. So I hope then you will study, sincerely you will study. That is our online classes are there, so we cannot follow up you properly, but you have to, because second senior most class of that school. Now the next year you will be in a senior secondary. So now then you should be sincere and do work hard for getting better marks, good result. Okay? Since then